Hello, everyone, and welcome to the fifth installment of Walk Talk Wednesdays. I am Lindsay Groves, the manager of the Pittsburgh Walk to End Alzheimer's, and today we'll be discussing everything that is related to the Participant Center and all the wonderful tools that are housed inside that Participant Center that most people aren't aware are actually there. So we'll do a deep dive into that in 1 second. So let me share my screen. Okay, make this bigger so everyone can see. All right, so this is our main page. Obviously, you're all familiar with this. This is the main Walk to End Alzheimer's page for the Pittsburgh Walk event, which is the demonstration we're going to use today is for Pittsburgh, but this applies to every other walk in the chapter. So what you'll do to get started is you'll go to the top right corner where it says login, and then you can log in. So for the test purposes, I will be using my test login so that you can see all of the tips and tricks. So once you enter your password, it'll come up. And this is, I'm doing this from a desktop computer. So I use a very short password to get for test purposes. So that's why you can see all that. But when you log in, it will only change this right side. If you're on a computer. If you're doing this from the mobile app, it's going to be very different. A lot of the same content is on the mobile app, but just refer to our video from the last Walk Talk Wednesday, which was emailed out and will be available on the website shortly, which is an entire mobile app walkthrough that is very specific just to the mobile app tools. So these, like I said, same tools housed in a different way. I think it's a lot easier to use from your computer, but if you want to use a mobile app for things like text messaging and other things along those lines, that is going to be your most your best feature for that. So, all right, as we move forward, we're going to, obviously, we already logged in because it says 206 days until walk day. And you can click here for event details. But where we're going to start is the dashboard, and it's going to take this main walk page away, and it's going to supplement it with the Participant Center dashboard. So I clicked on that and it's loading. Okay, so once we get here, it will say your name. This will be your first name and then your team's name. So obviously this person's name is Test right now, and then the team is called Test Team. So bear with me for the sake of this. We just want to make sure that we are seeing every tool that you can possibly use. So we'll start with the main page that comes up, like I said, from the dashboard. It will bring up your fundraising progress. Your progress will be on the left. That will be your personal progress. And then your team progress will be on the right. So once the test participant would raise money, it would fill in this bar with the gold progress report, just like on the main page of the website. So you can edit your goals here. I know some teams will set or personal fundraising will set their goal at like Champions Club, and maybe they exceed that and they want to become a grand champion, so they'll bump it up. Or the team hits that, it'll automatically default to $2,000. For Pittsburgh, it might be different in different areas across the state, but in Pittsburgh, it's $2,000 default for the team. So if you reach that, and you want to exceed that, we can always move. I've worked with several teams that have moved their goals up a little bit to raise even more money. So, all right. And then once you scroll down a little bit more, we have some tips on how to be the best captain you can be. This is specific to, obviously, this is a team captain's demonstration page. There are the participant center is a little bit different, whereas it will just have your progress and not the team's progress. So just keep that in mind if you're a participant and not a team captain. So if you're a team captain, you can click here and it'll give you fundraising tools and tips. So this is everything from team captain tools, fundraising ideas, the rewards and incentives program, recruitment, cash and check donations protocols. So they break it down very well for you, and these tools are all at your fingertips. So if we scroll down a little bit, because depending on what you click, it'll just redirect you to a different portion of the page. So under team captains, we have the team captain kit, which most of you should be receiving or have already received in the mail at this point. Some goal setting worksheets, how to edit your team page. You can upload logos, you can upload photos, whatever. If you're a team that is a company based, or if you're personal, I highly recommend personalizing your pages because on average, you'll receive about 40% more fundraising overall if you just make those a little bit more personal and share your story. There are also some tear off recruitment posters. Personally, I don't know people who have used those, but I'm sure that in some communities it would be beneficial. Change your team company if that's something that you maybe forgot to do while you were registering or anything along those lines. You can do that there. You can view your entire roster. So that way you can see who has registered or who hasn't. Your actual manager for the event itself, depending on where you're located, can pull your prior registration lists if you want to cross-reference and see who's outstanding, as well as your donors. So keep that in mind if you would like to see a donor report from years like 2022, 2021 to make sure you have reached out to everybody that you would like to. Team gifts, same thing. It gives you a general overview of what your donation status is. And then you can change your team goal from here, or we just saw the way to do it from the main area, as well as your team name. So sometimes team names evolve throughout the year, and that's okay. It's not a big change. Then we scroll down to recruitment ideas. So we actually have a really nice feature that you can build your own participant business card. So that is a really cool thing that you can check out on your own time. They are personalized to make it easy for your supporters to find your team online. So really neat tool. You also have flip prints, which are basically you can print on sticker paper and post as a fun way to promote the walk. It's very visual experience. So it's the templating for that. There are also some customizable posters under this tab that you can download and edit. Fast facts or fact flyers to share facts about Alzheimer's disease if you're looking for more specific information, or if someone asks you a question. These are the most common questions that we get, or facts that you can share. Promise Garden posters, so you can even print out your own signs and posters from there that are related to the Promise Garden. And if you're working with coworkers, or if you're a company team that's recruiting employees, this is a great way, 10 tips for recruiting your coworkers. But this is also in the team captains packet that you should have received. And then there's a little recruitment video if you need a little bit more inspiration. I know I'm a very visual person and I need that the visual behind it. So sometimes videos speak better to me, but it's available there. If we scroll down even further, there are fundraising ideas, basically the same thing that's in the team captains packet, just broken down for you. There's some additionals like how to raise $500 in 10 days. And this will download a PDF, I believe. Yes. So you can see ideas along these lines right here. It opens in a new tab. And then letter writing, campaign tips, thank you cards, the walk logo itself. And then if you're going to use the walk logo, please review the walk logo standards or reach out to your staff person just to make sure that we're using them properly. But those are a lot of different options right here under your fundraising ideas. It's just another place that you can find them. And sometimes they're a little bit different than the other places on the website that we've already reviewed in prior sessions. And then if you scroll down even further, we have cash and check donations area. So this can be your offline donation form. You can personalize that. You can track all your contributions, especially if you're getting cash and checks, I highly recommend printing one of these off. Team credit split form. So if you guys have a fundraiser and you raise $1,000 and you would like each of your team members to receive a t-shirt and get to that $100 t-shirt level, fill out this form and send it in with the money when you're actually ready to turn it in. This way, it makes our process a lot faster and easier, so we know exactly who needs what amount. And I do have some teams that, some people will want to be a grand champion, and some others are just going to earn their t-shirts and so on and so forth. There some people were responsible for one area and it'll get divided different ways. This form helps keep everybody a little bit more organized. So I highly recommend that team credit split form. And then you also have cash donation receipts available right here that you can customize for any donors that would like to donate via cash and still get a donation receipt. All right, and then at the end, rewards and incentives, it's basically a little bit more information about our incentives program. So this is where it will take you to all the milestones and what items you can get for that. And then more information about becoming a champion with our Champions Club, which I highly recommend. It is a very honorable distinction. So please shoot for that 500 plus as a participant or a team captain, and encourage your team members to do the same, because you do get additional perks, especially event day, along with more recognition from the association. And then the t-shirt information is here as well, which we know is a $100 fundraising minimum. All right. So that is our team captain tools area. So we're going to toggle back to the dashboard and scroll down. Always make sure that your t-shirt size is listed properly at least once during the walk season, especially if we helped you get restarted or re-registered. Sometimes t-shirts change or sizes change. But when we bring back a team to help you, sometimes that information doesn't translate 100%. So double check your t-shirt sizes, and you can do that right here. If you have an address change or just want to make sure that the address, translated properly, please double check it here. Just a quick and easy way to have those two tabs right available on the dashboard. And as we scroll down even more, here are some ways to reach your goals. So it will automatically prompt you to create a Facebook fundraiser. So when we'll get into social media in a different session about how to properly do social media based fundraising, but just know, because Facebook is the most commonly used type of social media based fundraising, we have a tool right there on the participant center. If you go into your Facebook account and set up a fundraiser that way, it's a lot harder to track down, and it will not translate. If you set it up through your Facebook page first, it won't translate to your participant account. So make sure, if you're going to do something like that, like maybe you have a birthday fundraiser coming up or something, connect it through your participant center first. That way it's automatically connected and it will feed into your tracker on your participant page. You can also get the app here if that makes sense for you. There's some instructions and then the direct links to download it. It's a free app. I highly recommend it, especially if you are fundraising and get checks, because you can mobile deposit the checks right there. And again, that's a different segment that we covered a couple weeks ago. So please refer to that former video. And then here you can edit your page, send emails. We'll get to that in a second in more detail. And then we have some event details, so you can see the schedule that we have for the Pittsburgh Walk, the location, my contact information, and then this will take you back to the original event page. And then down here we have ways to, it'll show your achievements, obviously. So we earn badges in our participant center. So if you make a self-donation, you will automatically see this on your page, but if you haven't yet, you can click here and it'll take you automatically. Also, it'll give you different badges for different accomplishments. So from creating a Facebook fundraiser to downloading the mobile app and using it that way. If you're a committee member, you can click this to put that badge on your page. If you become a champion, or I should say when you become a champion, because we would love for you all to become champions and get that distinction, you'll see these different badges pop up. T-shirts, top fundraisers, that'll be closer to the event. Even down to advocacy or how many donations. So if you end up with 25 donations, yes, it'll link this to fundraising tips, but it'll automatically come up with these badges. So, all right, and that's the end of the dashboard on the main page. So we're going to scroll back up and then go a little bit deeper into what's called My Page. So as you can see right here, when you click My Page as a team captain only, if you're not a team captain, it will not come up with this link that says Teams page. Okay, so just be aware, this is the distinction between a participant page and a team captain page. So currently we're on a team captain's page. So this is the personal one. You can actually customize your link right here. So when you click on it, it'll prompt you to enter a short URL. So we can do a test. It's going to tell me that this one doesn't exist because it's already taken, but you just save that. And then this long URL disappears and comes up with the short one. So it doesn't look like, I know a lot of people are intimidated when they see the extremely long URLs, and we want to make sure it's short and sweet. So then you can click this to copy it right to your clipboard, paste it right into an email or whatever formatting you're using. If you'd like your page to be public, this is where that would be. So I highly recommend the public page because sometimes even as staff people, we miss it if it's private. So we want to make sure that we can see you at all times if that's okay. You don't have to do this, but it will automatically default to a publicly viewed page that if someone, especially if you're reaching out to people for donations, I would highly recommend keeping it public because you'll be able to find you a lot easier through our participant center. Your page will not be viewable if you click the private mode. And then here is some information about sharing your page. As a team captain and a participant, you automatically get a QR code generated for yourself. So this you can literally drag and drop to save. And that'll be a direct link to your page. I highly recommend it for teams because that way you have that team QR code and shorten your team URL, which we'll get to in a second. But that way you're automatically set up. That's where you go. It'll bypass the main page. And if you want donations sent directly to your team or people to register directly on your team, that's what you're going to want to show them. It just takes out the guesswork of like, how do I find so-and-so and how do I search for the team on the main page? So it eliminates that confusion. Another chance to connect to Facebook here, but these are other ways that you can share your page on different platforms. So just know that these will all link and prompt you to log in so that you can share that information across different platforms. And then if you're honoring somebody, you can click this and it'll edit that for you. So right now it says Test is fundraising to honor Test, which is a very generic term, but with my personal fundraising, it says Lindsay is fundraising to honor her grandpa Gary. So that's what would come up once you customize it, however you would like it to be viewed. You can also edit your photo, just like I said before, edit your story here. It'll give you some tips about how to copy and paste properly. Sometimes it doesn't translate well from Microsoft Word. Just review that before you do it, and make sure you hit save after every edit that you do. Okay, and it'll prompt you that you can view your page from the participant side. So if it's not necessarily in your participant center, but what others will see once it's published. All right, so then we're going to scroll back up and we're going to switch tabs over to team page. So we are going to, if you would like to view your team's page, you can click that. If you'd like to edit your team name, it's right there. But I highly, highly recommend as a team captain to go into this team page and customize your team link. So if it's a specific team, like my family team's called Gary's Girls. So I want to make sure that I click here and enter Gary's Girls, if I can spell, right there. And once it already exists, so I'm not going to click save, but if you want to customize your page and you haven't done that before, this is the way to do it. Your Walk Manager can also do this for you pretty easily too, if that just makes more sense. Obviously copy the link to your clipboard, and even if we do it on our end, it'll still pop up that you can copy into your clipboard. Again, it's going to prompt you for team photos. It all comes back to the same places here and there. So we'll skip past this again. And then this one is the specific one for your team. So if you're a team captain, let me just reiterate, I'll go back up to the top. When you click that team page, this will be your team URL right here. But if you toggle back to your own personal page, this will be your QR code for your personal fundraising page. Just wanted to make sure that you understand the difference. And backtracking a little bit more, if you are not a team captain, it will only come up with one option, which would be your personal fundraising page. Okay, so then we'll go to the next line up on our dashboard, which is send emails. So I'm not going to go into this in extreme detail because it is pretty self-explanatory, but not a lot of people know that these are here. So when you want to send emails using your personal account, we have automatic drafted emails for you. So these are templated in advance. You can edit them. So if you want to share your personal story, you can actually copy this and then edit it in your email themselves. Or you can open your default email and it will populate it automatically for you. So if you're asking for donations, you can hit donation request. If you're following up on a donation request, it changes the wording. Anywhere that has brackets, just make it a little bit personalized. Just be cognizant of that. If you want to recruit more team members, you can click this one and copy this message for you, and it automatically generates your personal fundraising page for all of this. It will not do your team page, it will be personal. And then if you'd like to send thank you notes automatically, you can go ahead and go in here and copy that, which I highly recommend sending thank yous. Whether they're handwritten are always better, I think. But if you want to just shoot a quick thank you email to a donor that just pops up in your email, because you can get those automatic responders if you would like. You can set that up in your participant center. I would highly recommend just sending them out as they come in. All right. Moving on to the social media, like I said, we'll have an entirely different segment for Walk Talk Wednesday just about social media. But sorry, my screen jumped for a second. But we want to just go over the basics right now. So what does this look like on your participant page? Like I said, the 40% rule. So when you use social media, you actually will raise 40% more than those who don't. And then you can always use our hashtags, and each walk might have their own hashtag too, just so they can filter some posts or images. So just keep that in mind. Always put end alls, we will always see it, or walk to the number 2 end alls. Again, it will prompt you to connect your Facebook account for this. When you click on it, it'll ask you to log in. If you already have one active, it will just say go to my Facebook fundraiser, just so you're aware. Share your page. So just like we shared on the former page, if you click here, it will prompt you to connect your other social media pages or share the link to your fundraising page. And then scrolling down more, it'll give you another chance to download the app. And then social media tagging, which these are basically photos that you can share on your social media pages. And this one prompts you for 12 different people. It'll be like some silly things like the best cook I know, a friend who's always smiling, those sorts of things. You can tag up to 12 people in it and then ask them to match your donation. Maybe it's a $20 donation, whatever you want to do. That's just a way to get people interactive with you. And then more information about social fundraising. We have the ability to, you can click different things. Like if you want to help me become a grand champion, you can click this and it will automatically generate some content for you. You can schedule messages to go out on your social platforms here. You can thank donors this way, email badges. You can download those to put in your email signatures. That way you have them and you can showcase what you've been doing with Walk so far. And then more preferences that you can go into on your own time. But even down to I've made it to my goal, it's all there. And then here are some sample posts for Facebook and LinkedIn on the left, Twitter on the right. You can automatically copy and there are multiple versions, so you can click next post and you can see all that. If you would like to update any of your Facebook or Twitter backgrounds, they're all here. They're all formatted properly, so you don't have to restructure them at all. And then if we scroll down, we can do there are Instagram fundraising games where you can, basically sponsor a flower here, help me fill the jar. So on and so forth. So you can see all those and edit those on your own time. And then the downloadable progress thermometer, I think, is really helpful because, again, I'm a very visual person. So it'll prompt you to download it. And then let me pull that up. So it'll be, if you've reached 25% and you like to share that out, it'll have an automatically generated graphic for you if you want to share it out on social media. So there's one for 25, there's one for 75, halfway, thank you squares, all those sorts of things. So that is all housed right here in your social fundraising area. So, all right, so we'll move on to the progress area. So this will be where all your donations that have been received are housed. Again, just remember this is a team captain's one. It might not look the same if you're a participant. So the test person has not received any donations yet. Surprise, surprise, right? So we will, normally where it says you do not have any donations yet, it'll populate any donors that you've already received. The same goes for your team. So maybe they haven't donated directly to you, but they have donated to one of your team members or generally to the team. It'll populate that here if you're a team captain. So if you would like to download your contacts that have made donations. You can view all of that for personal, and you can view all of that for teams. It's all at your fingertips. So just know that this will be for the 2023 year. But if you'd like to see any of the past years, that's when you reach out to your local staff person and they can pull that for you. And then you can also set up email notifications for when you receive donations. So I highly recommend that as well, especially if you're a team captain, to be notified anytime any of that comes in. And then that was an actually short and sweet page. So we'll move on to the captain's tools. Again, we already went through this from the dashboard access, but you have access directly from this team captain's tools area, which just brings you back to that page that we went into in more detail with all the hyperlinks that are helpful tools. You can also set some alerts, or these are your alerts, excuse me, that, I set up a different test person in our participant registration segment of training, and it notified me on January 18th that someone had joined my team. So if you have any alerts, that's where they're going to be housed as well. And then if you ever need to just, sometimes you just need to take a step back and say, okay, I need a deep dive into this again. I need to tour this website. One, you can review this training that we're doing right now at your leisure once it's published, or you can click the take the tour and it will be a tour of the website for you from our national people. So that is our participant center in a nutshell. I know I went through this extremely quickly, but we want to make sure that you know that these helpful tools are there. And if you're looking for something, it's probably here. If you can't find it, or maybe it's worded in a way that you just, it's not clicking, reach out to your staff person. They are more than willing to help you to go through anything and get you any of the information that you have. We just want you to be aware that these are all here in case like our schedules don't align to have a quick coaching meeting or things like that. So we want you to be able to know that these are at your fingertips just in case you need them quickly. And we are more than willing to help you find this information too. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining us for the Participant Center tour today. We truly appreciate you being a part of our Walked into Alzheimer's programs. And we are looking forward to all that you can accomplish with all these helpful tools.
Thanks, Lindsay.